Friends, family, countrymen, today I bring you one of the most popular foods in all of America, the chicken wing. Wings were invented in, well, you guessed it, Buffalo, New York. And they've become synonymous with parties and gatherings and, well, the Super Bowl. That's actually the biggest selling day of chicken wings all around the world is all on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to show you an easy way to make wings. It's not hard at all. It's actually a very easy dish to make, though it does take some time. We're going to make a terrifically crispy, crunchy wing while nice and tender and juicy on the inside with a really nice, spicy, zingy buffalo sauce. So the first thing we're going to do is we take our wing here, and our wing comes with three parts here. We have the tip, we have the wingette, and we have a little drummy over here. So we're going to separate this into three pieces. So the tip we actually don't really want to use in this dish at all, so we're just going to chop it off. We'll save this for maybe chicken stock or soup or something else, but I have no use for it right now. All right, so we now have two pieces right over here. What we want to do is we want to kind of get a 45-degree angle cut right between these, so there's a joint in here. Now what you could do is you could try and break it, and you could snap the two bones out of its joint. And that's a good idea if you've never really done this before. But I've done this a lot, so I could actually tell exactly where the joint is. You can kind of see the bone right over there. So we're going to just put our knife right in at an angle over there. And right through at a nice 45-degree angle. And we've got two wings right here. I'm personally a drummy guy, but I know a lot of people like the wingies. Not a lot of meat on these guys. So much more meat here. We'll take our wings, throw it in our bowl, and we will do this to many, many more wings, as the problem with wings is we do eat them way too fast. They go by quick. And if you think about it, if you go to a restaurant and you buy, say, a 12-piece buffalo wing, you realize just how many chickens it took for that order of wings. Well, each chicken has 4 pieces of wing, right? We have 1, 2. This is 1 wing. And last I checked, chickens have 2 wings. So that's 4 pieces. So if you have a 12-piece of wings, that's 3 whole chickens it took for you to satisfy just your appetizer. You haven't even gotten to your main dish yet. Hopefully it's not chicken too. Or actually maybe hopefully it is. That way you eat the rest of the bird. Chicken wings are actually the most expensive cut per pound of all of chickens. If whole chickens cost about $1.79 per pound, your chicken wings might be double that. Might be $3.50 per pound. And that gets very pricey, especially when, if you think about a chicken wing, there's a lot of bone in here. You're paying for a lot of bone. You're actually also paying for these little tips right here. And most home cooks don't utilize these. But, you know, you guys are culinary students, and you definitely have to be thinking, well, man, there's a lot I can do with this. Because these tips also are loaded with collagen. Collagen will make a really, really rich chicken stock. So if you want to make your own chicken stock, these tips are going to make it this beautiful, thick, gelatinous, lovely stock, which you can use to cook many dishes or as a base for soups and sauces. So we're just about done here cutting up all our wings. What we're going to do next is we are going to bake these chicken wings for 45 minutes, for a long time. So here is our wings right here. Now before we bake them, we do want to season them. So these do require a little bit of love before we put them in the oven. So you could just do salt and pepper if you want to be basic. But no, honestly, salt and pepper is a really great way to go. But what I've got here is my secret, it's not too secret, I'll tell you what's in it. My secret adobo mix, which contains salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, paprika, cumin, oregano, onion powder, garlic powder, touch of clove, believe that's it. Maybe, and I think a little bit of allspice, all in this nice mixture. I use this whenever I cook chicken. I also use this whenever I cook anything. I love this. This is a great mixture. So what I'm going to just do is just take this and I'm going to add it to my chicken here. And we're going to toss it in here. I'm going to get maybe 2 spoonfuls. Now you could, if you wanted to, drizzle some oil, which will help this stick to the chicken a little bit. But we don't really need to because the skin here, there's a lot of fat under the skin. And so this will end up being very greasy if we add the oil to it. So that's why I'm not going to do it, but absolutely it's not really a bad thing to do. So let's just mix this all in really good. Okay. Now we're going to take our chicken and we're going to put them out on a sheet tray here. And we're going to say about 350 degrees. Make sure you preheat your oven to 350 and have that ready for you. Because otherwise you'll be standing there like a fool. Plus, your chicken would then be sitting out at room temperature. And chicken, as some of you know, contains salmonella. And, well, I don't really want to get you guys sick. So that's why I want to make sure we get this in the oven right away. All right, we take these gloves off. Okay, so these are now ready for the oven. So we're going to put these in at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. All right, see you later. All right, our wings are in the oven. We are now ready to make our buffalo wing sauce. Okay, this is where the magic happens. This is where all the flavor is going to come from. So these are the ingredients in a traditional buffalo sauce. This is actually stolen from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend who knows somebody who dated somebody who worked at the original place in Buffalo to make hot sauce. So is this the original? You betcha. So this is what we have here. We have some salt and pepper. We have some Worcestershire sauce. We have some cayenne pepper for heat. Some Frank's Red Hot sauce. Butter. Garlic, and what you can't see in here is vinegar. Those are your base ingredients for this. Really, the 3 main ingredients in buffalo sauce is butter, hot sauce, and vinegar. You could pretty much make buffalo sauce with just those 3 ingredients if you don't have any of those other ingredients. The purpose of the cayenne is really for heat purposes. So you don't have to add any cayenne pepper if you don't want to. If you want to make your buffalo sauce a little on the mild side. But if you want it hot or spicy, you can amp that cayenne pepper up a little bit. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to add our hot sauce. Now, our recipe will be found on our website, or just below the video, I'm sorry, in the comments. But we do have 2/3 of a cup of our Frank's Red Hot sauce. This hot sauce actually gained its popularity because it was featured in the original recipe for buffalo sauce, and it became one of the 3 biggest selling hot sauces in all of the country, maybe the world, all thanks to this one dish. All right, with our hot sauce, we're also going to add our garlic. We're not going to add all this garlic. That would be way too much. So I'm putting probably about the equivalent of maybe 2 or 3 cloves of garlic in there. All right, we got our vinegar. So we toss our vinegar in. And then got our cayenne pepper, nice and hot. Our Worcestershire sauce, just a drop. It's just a 1/4 teaspoon of that, 1/4 teaspoon of the Worcestershire as well. And then we're going to just add a little pinch of salt and pepper. Note the only ingredient I've yet to add in there is our butter. The butter is an important ingredient for this dish because butter, when you cook it too hot, it does tend to separate. And it can create an odd sauce. So we don't want that to happen. So we're going to add our butter in small little pieces here. So we're just going to add maybe 3. I'm going to add 4 pieces right now. And then I'm going to add in 4 more pieces in a little bit. So the total amount of butter that we're going to be putting in here is a 1/2 cup. So if you're thinking of ratios, it's pretty much about a 2-to-1 ratio of hot sauce to butter. So we're just going to let this heat up and just melt inside of here. And that's all we really want. We don't want to cook this. We don't want this to boil or simmer because that's how we're going to get a broken buffalo sauce. We want this to be nice and creamy. Once these pieces are melted, we're going to add in the rest of our butter. And then once all those pieces are melted, we turn off the heat and we're done. We could actually bring this down to room temperature at that point, because when we make our wings, we're actually going to be deep frying our wings. They're going to be hot. So when you add our room temperature sauce to our hot temperature wings, it's going to be perfect temperature. So we're about ready to add our other pieces of butter in here. The butter should always be cold and chilled before adding it, because actually it lowers the temperature of the sauce as a whole. If that butter was at room temperature, it might melt and it would go too fast. Alright, so I'm going to grab the rest of this butter here. Just going to put them all in. I don't want to just drop it in because it'll splash. The last thing you want is hot sauce in your face. Alright, so I'm just going to stir this for a few minutes. Alright, so our buffalo sauce is ready to go. All the butter is melted inside here. We're just going to let this get to room temperature and cool off, thicken a little bit, and then it'll be ready for our buffalo wings. The chicken's ready, the chicken's ready, the chicken's ready! Let's see what we got. Oh yeah! Oh, this smells great! This smells great! Look at our chicken. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to eat this just yet, because our chicken wings actually need to cool off before we can fry them. So what we're going to be doing with our wings is we're going to toss them in flour and drop them in the fryer. If we toss them in flour right now, that flour will practically dissolve on these chicken, and we're not going to get the crispy shell that we want on our chicken. So we're going to transfer all our chicken wings to a nice cool pan here. And then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, where it will take, I don't know, anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to properly cool off. And then we can let the fun begin. So our chicken has cooled off completely. We're now ready to prepare this for the deep fryer. So we're just going to take our cooled wings. We're going to toss them with some flour. And what the flour is going to do is it'll give that nice crispy edge. What this baking did is it made this chicken really nice and tender. The lower the temperature, the more tender it's going to be. You could technically, probably cook this at 400 degrees too if you wanted to. However, it's not going to be as tender if we would have done it that way. So we're just going to add some flour here and just mix this up really good. Cooking from home, I don't exactly have the nice big bowls that you would in a restaurant, so we'll make do. So now I'm gonna make a mess all over the place. All right, so our chicken is, for the most part, dusted in flour. Oh no, nobody's eating that wing. All right, so we're now ready to fry these babies up. So we're just gonna drop them in our pan, or in a fryer, sorry. We're going to fry these again just for a couple of minutes. All we're doing is getting a nice crispy outer bit on the end. We are going to be warming these wings up as well, but wings don't take that long to warm up. They're fully cooked all the way through, which is the advantage of that pre-bake. If you wanted to just fry them, you could, but then you run the risk of serving raw chicken wings. This way, you're never going to serve raw chicken wings. No guest is ever going to complain and send their wings back. Okay, while that's frying, I got a special treat for you. We're going to make two different kinds of wings. Buffalo wings. We're also going to make some garlic parmesan wings. All right, so this is actually really, really easy to make, because what do you think is in garlic parmesan wings? Garlic and Parmesan cheese. It's really it. That and butter. So we're going to start off by heating up some butter. And then we're just going to cook off some garlic and just saute the garlic. That's really it. Okay. So our wings, nice and crispy. They've been in the fryer for about 3 or 4 minutes or so. we're just now going to take our wings out and put them in our bowl. Okay. Now, we're going to be making, some of these as buffalo wings, but we're also going to make our garlic parmesan wings that I just talked about. So here we've got our butter and garlic, and all we're going to do is throw a few of these wings in here. And we're going to toss it in that butter and garlic, picking up all that flavor. I'm going to turn off the heat now. I'm just going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese here. And then just toss, toss, toss. And that's it. That's how you make garlic Parmesan wings. Really nice, simple, easy. Let's come back to our buffalo wings. So we got our wings here. All we have to do is add in our sauce. So here's our buffalo sauce that we made earlier. We'll just pour this right over the top. All right. And then we'll toss our wings in our sauce. All right, and now we're ready to plate our wings. So we're going to be serving this with some blue cheese and some celery. We want to plate these properly. We don't want to just throw these on the plate. It's kind of one of my biggest pet peeves is if I go to a restaurant and I get an order of wings, it just looks very sloppy. I want the chef to take their time with their wings, make it look nice on the plate. Stack them up a little bit, get a little bit of elevation. And there we have our order of buffalo wings. Enjoy.